Hello. It's time for a Warcraft 3 game. Let me make sure I've actually got space on that hard drive. I have 48 gigabytes, as Ricky Honajasi would say. I don't actually know if that's enough. I don't think it is, because I've still got the last game on here, and that's 44. And the one we're going to be casting today is a little bit longer. Give me a second just to clean up some space here. Gotta clean up the old poop chute, you know. Gotta get out the shovel. God bless. All in order. Inshallah. I think we're good to go. Okay. So, I have here a teen girl squad. I played a few days ago. It's January 3rd. That's 3. And we played on Saturday, which was 3 days. 3 days ago. Three! That's 3! There it is, right there. That's it. It was on New Year's Eve, which nobody really celebrates anyways. So there was a few firecrackers around like 5 o'clock that woke me up. And then, like, one popped off at midnight, and that was it. It is just another day, and everybody here knows it. Just another slog through the shithole that is life. So, HKS had some issues with caching when trying to first host this map, where Warcraft 3 won't update the map at all unless you restart the game or something like that. It was something really stupid. Okay, so on the left side, we have myself, we have an emu, we have Ricky Honajase, who is French. Yes, we did steal his red color. On the east side, we have Higgs, we have Zilla. Zilla was alive. Apparently, he was most certainly stoned because, well, it's Zilla. And HKS expressed repeatedly after the game that he was confused about what Zilla was doing. Because he didn't say very much, apparently, and was, it's Zilla. He's stoned. And then there's Q. So, I had the impression Zilla wasn't the only person stoned in this game. I figured Bill was also stoned. There's some interesting things that happen in this game. So, spoiler, the orc melee upgrade breaks again. HKS, I think, doubled the mana cost of wards. He is going to go wards in this. And I honestly forget anything else that might have been relevant. I completely forget. Builds. So, Emu goes like, he goes Illidan. And he is going to go melee physical with mana burn. And Ricky is going to go mirror images and try to get blast staffs. Now, what I remember from the game was that I felt neither of them were particularly effectual. Although I think Bill might get a couple of kills in the first half of the game off of Shadow Strike. I think he's just going to be like starved for gold until I start feeding him, and it really shows. On the east side, oh yeah, I'll talk about my build in a moment because it's kind of stupid. On the east side, HKS is basically going to do what he did last game, which when I saw that he was that hero, I just knew it. But I mean, it's really going to be like the second you see the ward, that's gonna be it. So Ricky will just kind of like take mirror image and some other random shit. I'm actually gonna take Summon Hawk. I didn't realize at the time level 1 Summon Hawk has no attack. So HKS is going to go wards and wolves, and Q is going to be AFK. I think Q is probably high too, to be honest. So Q is going to go actually pigs. Quill Pegs. And he will also take Entangle. And I don't remember. It'll come to me, I imagine. I got a horrible fucking migraine. So this is the best time to cast. So my build is going to be early on. I take Brilliant Soria and I pretty much never level it for most of the game. Maybe like once or twice. Flame Strike. And then I take Summon Hawk. And I'm going to just say straight up, I'm really bad at microing with summons in this game. I can't land Infernal, which is precisely why I take Infernal in this game, because I've had so much success with it. And then I'll take Boulder too. So, very weird build, but you'll see why. So, oh yeah, Zilla's gonna take like War Stomp, Thunderclap, and maybe, I know he takes Blink at some point. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know what Zilla was doing most of the game because I didn't really, I would see him on the map, but we don't cross paths terribly often. So this game is going to be kind of a weird one, but it is balanced teams, and you might say that the skill distribution is also kind of balanced. Bill dove him and I think maybe killed him with what's it called? There's some dying that happens in this bottom lane. It was violent down there. So early on, the Quill Beast definitely does not a lot of damage, but once it hit like level 3, when you don't have any armor, the damage most certainly adds up. Q will eventually get Phoenix as well, which has spell immunity, and that's... I don't honestly know how to really feel about that. I mean, it's there for a few reasons. First of all, because of this, but I think HKS found a way to filter this out. So, like, Infernal also has spell immunity, but Infernal is also a huge fat land unit. And the Phoenix will prove to be a nuisance. So, yeah, the level 1 Hogs are pretty worthless. There's gonna be at least one time I die. What is Bill doing? At least one time I die in this because I'm too busy paying attention to the bird and I like walk right into something. I don't unfortunately get any amazing bird kills in this game. It's it's not gonna happen. It's not like the games prior. People have wisened to the birds, and the level restrictions on spells kind of curb early bird spam because you can't get them high enough level. And then as the minions get upgraded, the birds, yeah. But I do get some mileage out of them, and we'll talk about that when we get there because it was actually useful. Not great for killing heroes, but the birds definitely helped me a little bit. So Q is gonna be, I didn't realize it for a while, but Q actually I think has Cannibalize as his innate on that hero. And he's able just to kind of stand and Flame Strike. Wow. Sassed, holy shit. So I'm going to commit to Flame Strike, and then I'm going to commit to Hawk. And then Flame Strike will be neglected for a while. Meanwhile, Zilla is just like eating shit and being fat. I was absolutely astonished he was here. He like spent like 10 hours downloading Warcraft 3. And he was probably like just hotboxing himself that entire time. The more things change, the more they stay the same, I guess. I mean, I imagine Mozilla's watching the game. It's just like melting colors, you know, sounds, and, you know, like children laughing and fucking Sakura petals. What a cunt. So, what I learned very quickly is that while Entangle does not stop you from casting spells when you're entangled, it does interrupt them when it is first casted on you, which will prove to be a real annoyance at random points in the game where Q just happens to get it off. I mean, it's not like I'm gonna kill him with Flame Strike, but getting him low and forcing him out is always helpful. The birds literally are just there just to be birds. Bottom lane seems to be the sassiest of the lanes so far. Ricky is just like getting bullied in top lane constantly. So I'm not going to acknowledge it for a while because I really didn't want to. But I had to acknowledge after a point, once I start looking at the levels, it won't be for like another like 5 or 10 minutes, but I'm gonna notice that their levels are gonna start creeping ahead of us. And the reason why that's happening is because HKS is able to clear a lot of these creep camps with the wards. And what HKS did not realize, and he's gonna tell me, we're gonna see some shit, I think. He didn't realize he has to actually hit the creep camps for them to not focus down the wards. And it just like would incidentally happen most of the time, so he really didn't think about it. But there was some, he said he had some problems with some creep camps he doesn't normally have trouble with. And that is why, because you do have to be on their threat table for them to not. The wards have the lowest priority, but if you're not on it, then yeah, they will kill it. But bottom lane is definitely violent. HKS did have a little bit of a kerfluffle up here, but Ricky is completely and totally harmless. He doesn't even have boots. He did buy Claws of Attack. That's very un-Ricky-like. But beyond that, he has literally no kill threat at all, so... He also doesn't clear very fast either, so... It's not like he can really try to force down those towers anytime soon. So I finally have level 2 Hog. It does a little bit of damage. Q can nerf its damage a little bit. I don't think he will hang on to Howl of Terror, but he might. So the birds actually have a really long cooldown. A really long cooldown. We talked about summons after this game, and I think a few times we had proposed that there should be an item that buffs summons. I was asking him if you can have your auras that only affect summons nearby, and that would be, oh, he's gonna... oh, I remember seeing this. Zilla wants that emu. And I was gonna go down there, but, oh, I was gonna send a bird down there, but this is one of the points I wasn't paying attention. Is the bird like just dives to the minions or a tower or something on the way. So yeah, I was gonna send a bird down there, but it dies. Pretty sure like it attacks camps or dives to a tower or something. Yeah, I'm not. Oh, there's the birds. Oh, he died. Oh, the bird did come down here. I think it's just like the bird is just too slow. But he died anyway. He died anyways. I know it was one time I sent a bird down there and it just died. Yeah, he sustains. He's healing. It's not an amazing amount, but it definitely helps when he's getting poked a lot, right? Because I don't have... I do get healing wave, of course. You're going to need it in this. But, yeah. So the Quill Beast is now level 3. It does have Bleed Lust and 45 top end. Again, 0 armor. It's not insignificant amount of damage at this point when I have Flame Strike of all things. Not hard to just avoid Flame Strike and just poke constantly. Q was definitely not nearly as aggressive with those as he could have been. So this must have been what HKS was talking about, where he was having trouble with the turtles. He has to hit the turtles to get them to not focus down the wards. But he's not doing that. He doesn't realize that at this point.
Our forces are under attack.
So, having some struggles here. Ricky did eventually take down those towers. Zilla just died unceremoniously over here. Yeah, HKS is definitely having some struggles. This is like you just came back from your first buy and the jungler dies in the jungle like twice over to like the wraiths or something. I've heard from reputable sources that League has fucked their jungle game absolutely beyond salvation at this point. Because they absolutely despise having any kind of like thinking in their game. I mean, they come from Blizzard, so it's not really too surprising. Speaking of thinking, HKS here has got some strategizing, and right now they're still ahead of us. At least he's really ahead on levels. What is going on here? Oh shit, he took cleaving attack. Look at that. I pinged there because, yeah, Zilla just like died. I don't know what he was doing. And I set Ricky up there because I think my bird found him, but Ricky's gonna fight the turtle and tank the turtle, and HKS escapes. Oh, but then Q found Ricky. Oh, and Ricky's gonna die. It was a worthy effort, but I didn't realize at that point, but Ricky literally is harmless and had no kill threat anyways. And on top of it, he helped HKS with his turtle problems by hitting them and taking aggro off of him or the wards. I don't know what's going on in bottom though. Like, why? What is going on? I always had the impression in this game that Bill was either fucking stoned or drunk off his ass. I never saw this. Like, I wasn't paying attention to this. What the fuck? Okay, screw the rest of the map. These two are just like exchanging bong hits or something. Like, what the fuck? I was not watching. Like, I knew they were dying in bottom lane, but... Oh, 1 second. I gotta put drops in my eyes. Holy shit. It's really bugging me. Evil draws my eye was all bloodshot again, so... And it was like... Lots of veins going all over the damn place on the one side of it, and I was thinking yesterday, oh, I'm probably getting another fucking ulcer again because of the dry air, so I gotta be a little mindful of that. There was a number of times I would see Zilla down lane with like no health, and I'd set birds down to him, but they could just never finish him off. He was either already backing by the time they reached him, or they just plainly didn't do any damage. You can see HK struggling with the Hydras too. He hasn't realized it. He's got to take hate off of those, but He is slowly whittling them down. They're just... the dog didn't take hate off of the ward. Maybe it went invisible or something.
Our allies' town is under
That was kind of weird. So, as far as pooling is concerned in this game, I think Bill was pooling Ricky. I'm not sure. I don't remember what the score screen looked like. I suppose we'll see at the end of the game, but I pooled a little bit every now and then, but I had full intentions of going wave clear first, pool second. Because I knew that none of these players have a very good history of dealing with wards. Just at this point, they don't really realize it, but HKS is having a hard time dealing with Hydras. If he actually goes in and take a swing and take them off the hate table, he's gonna die. So he gives up. Now Zilla does have boots, so stoned he may be. He is still ahead of Ricky by a significant margin in the common sense department. And this time Bill decides not to take like 3/4 of his health and damage from the towers. Question mark. Summoning additional pigs. Does he have True Shot? He does. He's leveling True Shot. I did not notice that in the game at all. Bill takes a little bite of pork, but it's kind of oh, it's happening again. The pigs were thirsty. Well. What? Artificial Night LaMayo? So, I guess Mirror Images have done Ricky a favor in that he hasn't fed like 1,000 kills. Let's take a look at our scores so far. So, I don't have that much of a lead. HKS and Q are actually ahead. I haven't really been spamming Flame Strike a lot. I've been fucking around a lot with birds, but it's also very possibly the difference in, you can tell just with the Alliance and the Horde, it's also a difference in, remember, HKS hasn't been in lane for a while. The upgrades are different. We're upgrading more and they're not. But even though we're not really upgrading that much right now. So I think that's kind of where it lends in. I'm definitely really low for normal. Bill has 3 kills. Zilla has 2. Q has 1 and the Alliance has 1. The bottom lane is where all the violence has been. Bill actually disengages and doesn't kill himself. He must be running low on juices. HKS, however, almost dies. Oh, piss! I remember being confused by that. I never saw that. I was too busy killing Q's pigs. Oh, I had healing wave now, so at this stage, he wasn't capable of hurting me anymore. The Emu Zilla duel ended in another Zilla death. Meanwhile, just like being a pass, but I didn't realize he had cannibalized up until this point. There'll be a point where I'm flame striking him and he's just healing instead. But as you can see, he could be attacking me and just at least wasting my mana. I mean, I guess he kind of is at this point, but... He has yet to harness the true power of the pig. Meanwhile, I can't use flame strikes, so I guess it kind of evens out. Meanwhile, Bill almost dies. Ricky's poking up here, but we don't have any minion upgrades. So, while he's done a little bit of damage, it's not much. This is actually not as long as of a game as I thought it was. So emus are receiving the assistance of a bird. The tower is attacking the bird of all things. So HKS is level 10. Ricky is level 8. He's held on to that level disparity at this stage. It hasn't really advanced because he had so many problems with the Hydras and the Turtles. The Hydras didn't even get killed in the end. But he may have his eyes on them now. Or he's going to maybe clear top first, I'm not sure. Perhaps the mystery of the Hydras has him. Ah, yes, I was trying to kill creep counts too. I think at this point I knew that he was creeping. Because when I scouted him with a bird before, and I knew there would be an experience deficit. So I was taking some of these middle camps. I was a little worried about Q stealing them, but he didn't seem very interested in trying to. Whether or not he noticed, I'm not sure, but it was a little harder for me to kill them than HKS. The bird can solo it. It's just, its damage is not very high, so it might time out before it does any. And I noticed Bill was here. Bill was very, very eager to fight Q. Very eager. Meanwhile, he's like dying to the pigs. He's getting destroyed by the pigs. The pigs are after him. I don't think I was even paying attention at that point. I didn't realize Bill was being chased by an angry pig. Zilla has returned to his old nemesis. Meanwhile, like, shit would randomly attack the Erdl and not the turtle I wanted to murder. Q was over there. I was like, nah, let the turtle reset, otherwise he's gonna murder me and the turtle. Q doesn't realize it yet, but there was a turtle incident. So HKS is gonna go up here. Oh, I died. I think I was microing a bird at that point, I think, and I just died. There's a few deaths in this game to not paying attention. It may have been actually I was looking at top lane just like I was now. Because I was curious if HKS was going to go over there, but at that point Q moved up. Meanwhile, murdered. HKS is level 12. The wards are level 7. This is about the point where I was pretty sure at this point I was well aware of that experience deficit. Where he's level 9, so that does equate to having access to higher level abilities, which means the wards are going to be stronger. And it'll be all over if he starts getting really tanky, so... it was a little obvious at this point I was going to have to put in a little bit more work than usual. So I took Infernal because, well, I knew HKS had a habit of just standing or running circles around the wards, and it would probably make my job of landing Infernal a lot easier. Plus, the Infernal will take the hate off the wards initially, so unless he micros them, even if I miss it, it can still make forcing him out easier than if I didn't have it. Ricky almost dies to Q by standing in front of the towers. Oh, but the grunt! That grunt just... That was a perfect body block. Oh. Oh. Oh! 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 I mean, Q saw him coming and knew he had Entangle, but he probably didn't think it was going to interrupt his teleport. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, this is a moment. Oh. There's some violence going on there, so I went to clear these Hydras. With Infernal, it's quite easy, but the Infernal is my kill threat, right? So I don't really like using it unless I really feel like I'm not going to need it anytime soon. Bill almost died to the tower again. So I got the ancient Juggalo, the clown posse of endurance. Now I'm juggling. The birds help a little bit with that since I don't really have much damage other than whatever. Here's some micro kerfluffle. So he's getting body blocked by like everything but Q's there. So I can't really fight them too much. But HKS gets kind of far ahead, so I throw more Infernals at him. And he actually has Healing Wave too, so I can't really chisel him down like that. There is a bird, but the wards slow the bird. They still have slow. It only affects creeps, but it affects the bird. So the wards actually like completely shut down the bird unless you use the birds to destroy the wards. And when they get high enough level, their damage will actually one-shot the wards, I think. Otherwise, they two-shot the wards. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, Zilla never changes lanes or tries to get away from Bill. He's just constantly going into there. Bill really wanted that. But he does like no damage, so. Zilla kind of like sits there and like huffs back. HKS is here for his Hydras. He's waiting for his Hydras. I don't think he realizes they're not there. They probably, I don't think he has vision here because it's night. He didn't realize I had just come from the Hydras. He thought I was just there. I can just imagine him swearing in Portuguese at that moment. Cursing that bloody ginger and his lack of a soul. Oh, but he encounters an emu. Emu gives him a few love taps, gets about half of his mana drained in total, and then starts punching the puppies. Oh, Emu realizes he can attack the wards, but fuck HKS, go for the puppies. HKS is actually in a small amount of trouble here. Oh, Ricky has appeared, and a bird? Ricky's hard-earned kill. Meanwhile, Q gets to put some time into those towers. Zilla is down here. Zilla does have a few items. It is worth mentioning. He has items. Ricky did finally get shoes. Didn't buy any more claws of attack, though. Obviously, he has his eyes on blast staffs, but he doesn't have any yet. A bird appears. Q is intimidated by the bird.
Our forces are under attack. Our hero has fallen.
Alright, I actually have to go AFK just for a second. I gotta get a package ready, because I'm actually on call for a pickup, so... Alright. Fuck, I hate stairs so much, man. Give me an escalator. Alright, let's see what's going on the map. So HKS is probably saving up for a bong or something. He's going to need the mana regen. His Brilliance Aura is level 4, but he did tell me he had a lot of mana problems in this, since he did increase the cost of wards and he is not an int hero. I'm at level 11 and he's at level 13, almost 14. So there, like, he was level 13 too. So there's a huge experience gap, and Ricky's halfway through level 10. So, the pigs do kind of a lot of damage now. I have 1 armor, which is 3%. That's 3. I was gonna die to a pig. I actually dropped Infernal and missed the pig because he moved it forward. Now it's level 2 Infernal. Yeah, I leveled Infernal really, really early, actually. So I can sustain that, but I almost died. I used all my mana and Infernal. And then I forgot about it, because I would forget about it. Oh no, I sent it down the lane. May as well get some money. So HKS is over here now, brave enough to take the turtle navigates all the way around the ward. So yeah, we're doing pretty good at the moment here. Looks like we're pushing in, and it's not doing too badly. It's a slow win, but we're down on levels. But Zilla has had very little impact on the game, whereas although Bill's died a number of times, he's more of a threat directly for now, right? But then Phoenix comes out, and that's going to be a problem for me and pretty much everybody else at level 8 Hawk. Ricky slithers away with the power of Chemical Rage. Asks Zilla for a bong hit and then goes crazy. So HKS clears those Hydras. And Bill's down here fighting some Revenant of the Seas. Does not die, although he gets close. And I went down bottom. Ricky buys some upgrades. Now you will notice they don't have melee upgrades. And I will ask very early on because I'll notice that. They do have 3 range, so they've started actually spending money on upgrades now. They're obviously missing some stuff, but they have no melee. Not really a lot of spawns either at this moment. So, they will kind of group up a little bit. Q will kind of group up with HKS a little bit every now and then. And the two of them together can be kind of a problem for me, so, mostly because of Entangle. But if Zilla was with them, it'd be a lot worse, because I didn't realize he had Warstomp for a long time. I didn't know what he was doing most of the game, to be honest. But more to the point is that Bill is nowhere near strong enough to fight them, and Ricky pretty much does absolutely nothing, so... And then if we could get Bill a bunch of items and make him actually dangerous, then we would probably be in a good spot to clear the game if we had to go to late. But so there's the Infernal Flame Strike, but he gets away. Bill does get him though because he's fast with engineering upgrade. But that was Infernal. I don't think I have Boulder at this point, and I realize I'm gonna need it. Because there's like birds and pigs and shit. And I'm actually gonna have to level Healing Wave to try to sustain those. This is kind of stupid. But I'm using Flame Strike, right? Like, can't do anything to him at all. Not unless I've got him stunned for half an hour, and I can only do that with Infernal. It's using all my mana just to heal. But his mana is restoring fairly equivalent to mine. Fairly close, maybe a little bit slower. My Brilliance Aura is only level 2, but I have a lot more int. Bill's gonna get him. Ricky appeared. That helps us close the level gap too. Killing the higher level hero because of the catch-up mechanic that they gotta add to all these games. Because they want to have snowballing, but then they want to have catch-up mechanics. That's what the whole level thing. I don't actually know if that's active in this map, though, to be fair with you. I think it is, because it's on by default, I'm pretty sure, but I don't know if it's actually on in this. It wouldn't surprise me if it was. So Bill appears, or Q appears, but he actually pulls off. I think because his Phoenix is really low on health. And he might be fearful of Ricky undeservingly. And Q died to oh yeah, Bill came down here and my bird was down there. And they both died at the exact same time. I was just looking at Zilla. I gotta keep an eye on Zilla because I'm like, the mystery deepens as to what's going on in bottom lane most of the time. Will he finally get those towers? It feels like he has spent the last near 40 minutes trying to take down these towers or dying in that general vicinity. But Bill's sacrifice let us push into here. And there was definitely times Bill like would overcommit like crazy. And I was nowhere near that. I think it was just my bird that was over there. So I went back. There wasn't much point pushing this point because we really don't have the minion strength. We did upgrade a little bit up to 3 range. And those Spirit Wolves were level 10. Ricky still doesn't have a Blast Staff. He has Chemical Rage, but he's going to take Blast Staff. So I'm not sure what the Frenchman's plan is here.
Our allies' town is under siege.
The tower is still stand. I think Ricky does have some peasants, or peasants as they're called now. More accurately. Oh. 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 If I casted Skill Coil on him again, he'd have died, but he didn't. That fucking Frost Armor just completely shut him down. I found it amusing how Q got a Gem of True Sight. I guess it was just for Ricky. Just so I knew who to entangle. Because I'm pretty sure that reveals Mirror Image. The Deep Lord, Deep Dark Fantasy Lord is looking pretty tanky with 2,400 health. A clash of the emus is inevitable. Let's take a look at our scores. Hicks is sitting at 102. I'm only at 77, so Zilla is ahead of me by living in bottom lane uncontested for a period of time. And I guess because I've been doing creep camps more often than not now. But it's still like amazing. Well, he does have 2 AoEs, right? So he does have some wave clear. Meanwhile, Ricky has 36 and Bill has 40. Q has 89. Bill's trying to clear out those wards, but they almost clear him out. So he pings up there. And I was wondering if I could catch HKS, but it is a long distance and you don't have the base ward anymore. So I figured there wasn't much of a chance. Hang on 1 second. Sorry, I just had to. These guys, when they come to your door, they won't stay there for any more than a second. They will literally just knock and walk away. So if I think I hear a door sound, I gotta run. I have to do this like every second or third day, by the way. The amount of shit that she orders and has to be returned is just ridiculous. And the latest is a Chinese heater that has 2 knobs on it, so it's too complicated to use. But the really stupid thing about it is that if it decides it's overheated, if it decides it's overheated, it will arbitrarily force you to unplug it for, it says, around 14 minutes. And I say arbitrary because it doesn't matter if it's been off for like a week. You have to unplug it and leave it unplugged for 14 minutes. So yeah, it's I don't know. I've seen enough Chinese road videos to know that safety is not a top concern in the homeland. So I'm not sure why this device has such a moronic design to it. I can absolutely smell the Foxconn tears when you turn it on, though. It's definitely got that suspicious chemical burning smell to it that is not oils. More like cheap plastic. It's also like not nearly as efficient or as good as this other old heater I have. Oh yeah, so Q was here and I like instantly killed him. He was just instantly dead. I stole him and his Hydrus. HKS actually goes to bottom lane, which is a little unusual, and Zilla goes to mid lane. So he's another clash of the emus is destined. Bill just is gonna be missing half of his hull. So Ricky is coming down here, I think, to buy a blast staff. He's gonna have 2 of them finally. He's gonna ask for some gold. Yeah, it begins. Zilla just kind of like runs over there and oh, there's an emu. There was the emu. Bye. So it definitely seems to me like HKS is not intent on really pushing. I think he's aware that I'm just going to blow him up. But there is a problem with this strategy, and that is I'm going to scale more than he does at this point. He's going to be relying a lot on Q unless he decides to add more utility to his skill set, because I'm going to be taking Boulder, and I'm going to have just a hard nuke. And eventually I'm actually going to straight up replace the birds as well for more raw damage. But something bizarre starts happening, however. Ricky just dies instantly. Oh yeah, there's something happened here. This is one part I remember where something goofy happened. I was going to come down here where Bill was, because I knew HKS was down there. But I send down my Zeppelin, and it like just takes a kind of a course down the middle and just right into the creep wave. And yeah, I felt kind of stupid. There is a good possibility though that even if that did not happen, I would have had to have taken a wide turn down, and by that point HKS wouldn't have been as easy to get to. Of course, if I still had the Zeppelin, I could have just chased him, but... Bill gets Shadow Strike level 10. Zilla's rampage continues. Anyways, as I was saying, they started buying upgraded minions constantly at this point. We don't see them right now, but there was one wave that just went down. And they're gonna start pumping in the minions very hard at this point. And Ricky does have 2 blast deaths now, but Bill's a long way from becoming really relevant. And 2 blast deaths is gonna be hard to clear all the waves with this late into the game. Bill is almost dying to minions. So Zilla, although he doesn't really do too much, you know, still has 2 AoEs. Can definitely clear waves, but you see he has creep score. And Q has a bunch of summons. So this kiss merrily runs on his way. Doesn't stop for anything, not even the coins. Bill, on the other hand, he wants those shekels. So the Horlaki melee upgrades definitely hurts them, but our upgrades are nowhere near competitive with them at all right now. So at the moment, it's not a big deal, but it is worth noting that upgrade has endured the upgrade bug. Oh my god, the camera. Oh. So I was targeting words liberally with the bird. HKS moving forward here is kind of risky, but he knows they don't have any engage. But he kind of like sticks around, and Bill, if he didn't get stunned, could have landed Shadow Strike. And he still might yet because of engineering, but HKS has his jump, so he's going to escape. Oh. Oh. Shadow Strike's damage is it's doing about half the damage that it says it's doing. Actually a little less. It does like 30 when it just has 65, so it's not nearly as good as you think it is. That said, they have upgraded shit. Pushing on every lane except for bottom now. Well, nope. I stand corrected. There's a bunch of them on bottom. The boners apparently do not receive upgrades. They have unholy strength, which doesn't benefit them. And the one can't receive upgrades. The skeleton nurture, so. Ricky is wiggling around. I went top because I saw there was upgraded siege up there. And some coins. Bill got heckled a little bit by the Phoenix, but not really too much there. Zilla has stopped dying every like 5 seconds. He's just kind of like mindlessly pushing the waves now, somehow avoiding dying in the process. So they started buying upgrades at this point. I forgot to mention before, I do actually have a bong now. And I'm going to start focusing less on clearing camps and more on clearing the waves, because they're going to be pushing us constantly at this point. And if they opened up enough of the base that HGS was allowed to sit there with wards, it was pretty much going to be only me that was going to be able to deal with him. At least until Bill got items. But it was also, knowing from experience, Bill was not going to be getting items anytime soon. Especially since he just spent a chunk of money on upgrades for the minions. Although they will buy upgrades for the minion spawns, they will not upgrade the minion armor or damage for a long time. And they will just keep pumping upgraded shit every now and then. Every like second or third wave, I figured I'd see them. And our minions would just be pushed constantly. But I figured it was probably Zilla doing that because there was never quite enough upgrades to fully upgrade the entire wave. And it wasn't like hyper consistent, and their armor stayed low anyways. So while it was a little dangerous, nothing happened. So it looks like they might be trading some gold here or something, possibly looking to get... Yeah, so Q gets an axe. Meanwhile, my Flame Strike finally goes up to level 9. And I have 2 bongs. So... the spell damage is going to be high, and at this point, it's a good idea to start switching away from summons, because they're not going to scale off of that. Meanwhile, my Brilliance Aura is still level 2. However, his True Shot Aura is level 3, so got a little whiles to go on that too. So let's chilling out here in middle lane with half health. They're still quite heavily pushing at the moment. Ricky bought Berserk, but since he never gets any like physical damage items,
Our forces are under attack. Our allies' town is under siege.
1 second again. I need a second knee brace. The one I'm using just isn't enough, because both my knees are so fucked. So Zilla finally escapes the clutches of life. Our bottom lane is counter pushing, but we don't really have the minions or upgrades to do too much to this. I just kind of wanted to put pressure down here because I saw 2 of them were up top, and I figured if they ignored me, I can probably do some damage here, but I'm starting to realize I don't really have enough beef in the wave to do that. So I kind of like entrusted Ricky and Bill to manage this. The problem is that there's pigs. Ricky only escaped because HGS didn't micro his wards. So I had to go back. Q went back too. But I can still fight him at this point, especially since I've got a lot of bursts. But our base was gonna die much faster than theirs was. Because I don't really do any damage to buildings. So there's Boulder. HKS ran into the base and just got exploded. So that kind of puts an end to that. There is a bird. So the upgrades really don't change that much that quickly. Riki has, however, placed a few towers in the base. There was some in the middle he didn't upgrade. I think his peasants actually died. I remember hearing some Riki anguish at some point. Bill got chained to spell. Maybe hoping they would do something about wards. It won't, but it'll sure kill pigs. Bill fears the pigs. Yeah, the birds like glue to the Erdl's ass and just waste their time. So deep, so lord. So map kind of like rebalanced out when HKS died. And they stopped upgrading shit, but their range is now level 6. Zilla seems to be like actively avoiding Bill now. Hiding from the emu. Just single-mindedly smoking his way down the lane. Occasionally with a bird providing emotional assistance, I guess. Eating everything. I mean, weed gives you the munchies, apparently. Seems like HKS might have been buying some upgrades there. Going down here just to kill some minions. I was actually more or less initially checking to see if those were cleared, because then I might be able to ambush someone like Q again. So there's 2 of them here. Entangled goes off, and I died to dogs or wards or something. HKS barely escapes. I don't know if I realized that Q had an axe until that point. That would have been the point for sure that I knew that he had an axe, because that was an unexpected amount of damage. And I also realized that's the point I have to start leveling Healing Wave, because the spell bonus isn't nearly enough to keep me alive through any of that. I also kind of figured I was going to be sort of on my own in this game.
Alright, I'm back.
That was just coffee. So there is an emu. The emu could die here. There's a small possibility. He is intimidated by the stasis board. Oh shit. Oh dear. There was a bird. Q definitely saw some bird success in this. I have the life-stealing item that, oh no, that reduces enemy armor. 0.8, wow. That'll be what, like 2 point something percentage? There is a bird. Some bird-on-bird violence. So Q may not realize I have Boulder yet. I kind of just wanted to come in, but the wards were all, or the towers were all dying. Just kind of like let the auto AI screw up his bird. It kind of got like too far ahead, and then that was sort of it. Still a lot of damage from the various summons, though. Zilla murders the Ricky! It was one tragedy after another in this game. I did kill Q, and HKS isn't pushing right now, but Zilla like barely escapes. Oh, he's gonna probably get away. Or is he? I'm stuck on the minions, so I can't like get over there. Otherwise, I might have been able to boulder him. Seems like Zilla is the one buying the upgraded minions. I had a theory about that. They're 6 and 2 right now. They haven't been upgrading their armor very much. And of course their melee is totally fucked. We've got 3 range and 3 melee armor. There is, I don't know, not much coordination in those upgrades. And this is when I finally get rid of Hawk because I realize I need damage. And the Hawk isn't going to do anything to Q or HKS at this point. Because they were just pushing us with this shit constantly, and all it was really going to take is for them to start knocking down buildings, and we were just going to probably just very, very quickly lose. However, those upgraded minions give a lot of money. Like the ogre gave like what, 118 gold or something, so as long as we hold this out, we actually make quite a bit of money out of it. You can see the creep score has very, 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 very rapidly and sharply turned into my advantage. Although everybody on their team is actually really consistent. Also, Zilla died. I think it was in the middle and I squished him or something. But they're all really consistently. This is really weird. I mean, if it was creep camp, that would be like mostly HKS followed by Q, but even so, it's still really weird how even they are. It's so strange. I don't think we've seen any game that's like that, especially on the one side. Ricky rapidly deals small amounts of damage, almost dies, and then runs. He didn't buy any additional blast staffs. He completely forgot what he was doing. HKS was down here and died like instantly. Like, when I encounter them at this point, if I have my cooldowns up, there's no way I'm gonna spot it. Unless I'm really paying attention, and I don't because fuck minimaps. They will just die instantly. I was just really wondering, like, why does Ricky not buy extra blast staffs to complete his build? Bill finally took Locust for him. It's not a very good ability. When you get level 3, it can kind of help it can kind of help a little bit, but I don't think that's level 3. Holy shit, a lot of people have died to minions in this game. Let's take a look. 5 on the Alliance and 3 on the Horde. Yeah, I started buying stuff. Now I have my 3rd bong, so I had, I think, close to like 8,000 gold at this point. And I just started buying stuff as I ran through. Because, yeah, my gold income at this point just massively increases. Even though I'm still using Flame Strike. But since I have Chain Lightning, anything that Flame Strike doesn't get, Chain Lightning is generally going to get. So my creep score is just going to keep flying upwards. Sometimes I'm turning the camera away too because I'm listening for the door, so it's a little disruptive. I did burn Infernal there kind of unnecessarily. It's okay, surely Ricky can defend middle. Right? With his 2 blast staffs. He never buys... Does he ever buy a 3rd? It's okay, at least Bill's here. Oh, poor Azilla. Oh, I'm entangled. Maybe Zilla gets away. Zilla gets away. Zilla gets away! Q on the other hand doesn't. Q kind of like saved Zilla's life in exchange for his own. A noble sacrifice. So HKS actually bought an axe and not a bong. So his mana regeneration has improved since he bought level 10 Brilliance Aura, but he's still missing a lot of int. So his mana regeneration is pretty high, but not mega high. I think he can actually deplete it if he really tries to. Whereas even though I have 3 bongs, I still run out of mana very, very, very easily. All that takes is a couple flame strikes and I run out quite fast.
Our forces are under attack.
HKS is trying to set up a trap down here, like an emu trap. But the emu went in a different direction. This is how the Australians lost the Emu War. Just like that. I ended up buying Depression Aura. No one on their team except for Zilla really does spell damage to the minions. I don't know why I bought it. I think just because I can. If Bill dies again, I swear to fucking God. Why aren't the Locusts healing him? Oh, oh! Ah! I don't know why the Locusts weren't healing him. So HKS stayed in that corner. He was very dedicated to his emu trap, even though the emus had already been trapped. Australia was free to live out the prison island life. And I just found him and he was just stuck in a corner and got sat on by the Infernal. Mark my words, Ricky doesn't buy a 3rd blast staff for a long time, if ever. So they're kind of in a sticky spot now because HKS died close to their base. And we finally have minions. We have a little wave up here. It's not very heavily upgraded, but it is upgraded. And those birds are really annoying because they're spell immune. So I can't even like chain lightning them. And it takes the minions a really long time to kill them. There's level 3 Locust Swarm. So all I really have to do is get down their towers. And give me some freedom to kill them in their base. In Zilla's world, none of that really matters. The key wants a taste of my booty, but once I'm sure I won't get vision fucked and I have all my cooldowns, I really have nothing to fear from him at all. Just being chased by a bird, that's really the most dangerous thing. Bill answered the booty call, but there's like a random warlock over here. Ricky never upgraded those towers. There's 2 of them now. Oh, there's gonna be some interesting shebangs. I think Zilla is No, Zilla's not fighting. Oh, yes. I'm hiding in the corner. He realizes just a little too late. HKS didn't follow him in there. I could have sworn they would have seen me on the minimap. And Zilla, like, just walked into the base and got himself killed. Meanwhile, I'm stuck fighting the bird. And I just barely survived.
Forces are under attack.
Healing Wave has a pretty long cooldown. At this stage, I have 5 bongs. Like, it feels like just a few minutes ago I was noting my inventory, because that's just how much money I had. And at this stage, I'm going to start feeding... I think I'll buy some upgrades, but I'm going to end up feeding a lot of money into Bill. And then some into Ricky so that they can get some items. And that might be when Ricky gets some blast staffs. Now, HKS has the axe, which helps him a little bit with being tanky, but the armor doesn't help. And he was talking about how maybe the head barrel should give like flat HP or something, in addition to his current stats. So, I bouldered the dog. But I still managed to kill him because I had 2 Infernals and a lot of spell damage. At this stage, my mana regeneration is quite strong, but I can still deplete it quite a bit. Like, I can't use mana shield or anything like that. Yeah, there it is. You're gonna see me feeding Bill money. I'm not sure I ever see him buy a fucking axe, though. I don't know about that. I think he eventually gets one.
Our allies' town is under siege.
He might be going to get one now. I'm not sure. Ricky finally upgraded the towers. Let's see if he buys something. Oh yeah, he does buy some stuff. He doesn't buy an axe though. He buys like the lower budget items. When really it's like the axe he needs because he needs armor. So but he gets attack speed, which does help him with the mana drain. And yeah, you're just gonna see me feed him a lot because I don't need it anymore. Now the worst thing that can happen is the enemy team gets tanky. The second they hit a breakpoint where they can survive my nuke, we stand a very strong chance of losing the game right afterwards. So if like HKS or Q ends up with like 3 or 4 axes, then I'm going to be in trouble because Flame Strike is a one-trick pony with Infernal and Boulder. Those are 3 long cooldowns, and Chain Lightning is not enough damage on its own to fight anyone, so... This is very much abusing the fact it's a 3-player game. You see, it takes quite a bit of damage to kill him, and he's only got 1 axe. Keeping in mind that I have a full inventory of the highest spell damage you can get. Other than getting rid of the boots, which would be very unwise. Unless I had like mass teleport, but then I can't really get rid of Infernal. Now, Q did get the head barrel, but he is also an agility hero, so... His base health being as low as it is, he's not really that tanky yet. But once he gets a couple more items, then it could be really annoying. Especially with these fucking birds. Which he's not microing. You can just see Ricky's filth all across the map. Some of his towers are still on fire though. Oh, Zilla died. Zilla would like run up and just get instantly killed because he had nothing. And he didn't really build anything. I really was not sure what was going on. But Bill was very, very eager to just run ahead. Or Q. Well, Bill would run ahead too, but it seemed like he was being a little more alert this time. As opposed to earlier in the game. I don't know what the hell he was doing. Whereas HKS only has the one item. He has a higher base health than Q because he's also at 1800 with just the one, but he's only got the one trick pony. And now that my base damage is high enough and Bill's base is high enough and he can sustain a little bit. But man, he takes so much damage from the towers. Then that one trick pony. I was trying to heal him too. And the bird claims another. What can a man do but just forge on? Ricky has still only got the 2 blast staffs. So there was just a lot of like error attacking me. So I had to kind of like wait to be able to take this building. Q, however, is very bloodthirsty. So I go back. Ricky is in mid. I upgrade chain lightning to level 9. It stays at level 9 for most of the game, I think. I'll probably start leveling up Brilliance Aura because I don't really have anything else to spend my money on at the moment. And I was running into mana issues. Spamming Healing Wave constantly was consuming a lot of mana. So I wanted to max out my regeneration. Ricky's still leveling out Chemical Rage and Cleave, but not doing anything to improve his damage. And he like, instead of using his peasants to build the towers, he buys the items and always keeps those 2 inventory slots free instead of getting blast staffs or health or something. Meanwhile, Bill, since he never bought anything, I don't even need to look. Like, Zilla was just basically free gold because he couldn't do anything. I would see him and just kill it. Honestly, a lot of the time it felt like it wasn't worth like infernal cooldown to kill him. So HKS is on top. I did want to push mid, but this was a fresh lane still. Not much damage. I kind of just want to put pressure here so I could open a window for a rotating top in a little bit. But Q started actually doing quite a bit of damage at this point. And I realized that's not going to work, and I'm probably just going to die. Because I have to cut this corner, so... Yeah, Q at that point, it was obvious that I couldn't let him get attacks on me, because I didn't have any defensive items, really. So that's a really bad time to die, because the whole point of being there was to put pressure there so that I could go top when HKS goes back. But now HKS never had a reason to leave here, and it was very arguable if Ricky and Bill could actually kill him. But Bill seems to be getting better about killing wards, so whether or not he can actually survive the wave to finish the job doesn't seem like it's going to happen. I keep beating him. Replace your claws of attack, man. You've got to have like 6,000, 7,000 gold right now. Q is smoking a bong. I wonder if they've ever noticed that Ricky is just not nearly as effective as he should be with the blast staffs at the moment. But his inventory is Bill pays the iron price. I paid too much respect to the dogs. I could have gone for that. He was a little far away though, so the fact you hit him so far out was kind of a waste, because chances are he would have been too far away for me to kill with the Infernal. Like, the stun would have worn off, and even if I stunned him with the Infernal, that alone is not enough to keep him in Flame Strike. So. Meanwhile, in bottom, there is a menace.
Our allied town is under siege. Our forces are under attack.
It's Q who owns the peons. Peons. So you'd figure Bill would want to cut there, but I guess they just wanted to push instead. Or maybe he was just sticking around with me, I don't know. Bill makes a good distraction since he just kind of just runs in, but trying to heal him to keep him alive is a little of a bit of a trial. So I definitely take a lot of damage from the engage, but as long as I don't die, it's not too big of a deal. Problem is, I use the Infernal cooldown. I Flame Strike the word. I don't know why I did that. I think it was to zone them in case they try to go in that direction again. But they were much more focused on Bill at the moment. I really just wanted the building. But the fucking Phoenix is gonna kill someone. And then it timed out. Q is I thought he was cannibalizing there for a moment instead of going back to the fountain. Bill had Locust Swarm, but it just, to me, just didn't seem like he was really that tanky. Once again, we couldn't kill that. Infernal was back. I used it mostly just to disengage at that point because there was so many minions. We can poke a little bit. Bill was able to engage. I almost killed Bill with Flame Strike. I canceled. He died anyways, going in so deep. Maybe I should have let it finish. I would have denied him. So Q really wanted to fight still. But I didn't have Infernal, so I had to be kind of careful. Oh shit, it's Frost Nova from the spell book. I don't think I was really in too much danger anyways. Words are, it's really hard to chase someone with words. I came over here and Ricky was just spinning around on the crabs. I like to think that he just kind of like fell asleep doing that. And I don't know what I was thinking of doing at this point. Oh, I gave him money is what I did. Maybe Ricky will buy a third blast staff finally. Meanwhile, in middle, Zilla is on a rampage. Someone's got to stop him. Evil. I just walk up to HKS and teleport. Who can stop Zilla? Who can stop this madman? I felt kind of bad at one point, but only for like the slightest nanosecond. Zilla like went through all the effort to reinstall the game to play this just to get bullied endlessly while being so high that he doesn't even understand what's going on half the time, I imagine. Now they do have Depression Aura now, so I did notice right away when they got that. It was absolutely affecting my clear times. And once again, we were being pushed pretty heavily. But they never fully repaired that barracks. Or maybe they never repaired it at all. I thought it was on fire, but it's not repaired all the way. I don't understand. So we started to buy some upgrades. You'll notice Ricky never bought a third blast staff. His whole build with the mirror images was for blast staffs, and he never buys the others that he needs to deal fucking damage. When we look at the creep score, he's second to me, but he could be so much higher if he actually was doing damage. The HKS is definitely running into mana issues. Spamming words. Yeah, I really needed to get a bong or something to help his int a little bit. Or a surgical mask might be a better idea. But yeah, he doesn't have hardly any words here, so Ricky takes so much damage. Ricky is real squish. He's got 4 armor, but that's all he's got. And Q is healing up. This is, HKS definitely cannot win a fight of attrition. For the simple fact is that his mana regeneration isn't enough. But I don't really want to dive him either, so. At this stage, the health nerf to the wards affects them quite a bit because my base damage is high enough to easily one-shot them. And Q ran forward and is going to stand in Flame Strike, at least for about half of its duration. And I killed him with ward, but at that point the bird got me. So that was a weird trade. It definitely hurts us more than them, because HKS can push harder than any of them can, or any of us, other than me. And the Zillas, there's a lot of shekels on the ground for Zilla here. There's more money feeding Bill, but Bill has decided to go out and get a bong hit of his own again. Doing nothing. I don't know. He will be AFK for a duration at this period. I thought he just like went to sleep or something. Stuck his head in the ground one too many times, got comfy and fell asleep. Will Ricky actually buy a blast staff now? It looks like he might. Oh, he might not be able to. There's a Lionheart of Stormwind over there. I don't think Ricky can kill these. I don't think he's too weak. They're not super leveled up, but... Oh, the Revenant has 3,300. He is... He barely escapes, just barely. Unable to spend his money. Yeah, I stepped on Zilla again. He just instantly died. Ricky has to run away. Doesn't even wait for his mirror image, just instantly gives up. Bill is still AFK, and well, I did kill Zilla. All the lanes are starting to push on us again. So Ricky decides to spend the money elsewhere, I guess. HKS comes down here to clear the Hydras. I imagine he's going to be getting a third item soon. Q at this stage had 2 axes and 2 barrels. So either there was some pooling going on or he just probably decided to spend some money. Meanwhile, Ricky buys more towers.
Our allies' town is under siege.
So finally leveled up Chain Lightning. Healing Wave is level 8. HKS buys health, lots of health. And an eggplant for sustain. He doesn't choose to push top. Definitely a safe decision to not cut into the wave when he doesn't know where most of us are at the moment. Zilla, I think, is probably like meeting up with Bill in the back behind the shed, handing him plastic baggies full of fucking emus. I think Bill probably died IRL. He huffed too much. Ricky could go to the Hydras and get his extra blast staff now. Maybe that's what he's gonna do. What do you think is gonna happen? Meanwhile, I'm being heckled by a bird. The bird does quite a lot of damage when you're not tanky. I don't know what Ricky's doing. Like, was he gonna try to kill the Hydras again? It didn't work the first time. Oh, I missed. Embarrassing. So HKS is definitely kind of struggling on mana here, since he hasn't taken any mana regeneration items at all. And he is constantly having to make wards running around all over the place, since the lanes are not very static anymore. Oh, he took Doom. Ricky, however, is far less effectual than even that. I was looking for Zilla. Oh, he's over here. Emotional support and Shekel patrol. Zilla just kind of melts. There's so many towers there. Ricky intends to just build towers and nothing but. I am still trying to listen for outside, by the way. It's kind of hard. It's possible I've actually missed them. Oh, Ricky. Oh. The mirrors died so fast. Almost killed Ricky. If I put that Infernal more ahead of him, I might have. But once again, I can't aim Infernal. Bill comes back and just buys upgrades. I think Bill kind of like just gave up at this point. Like, he didn't want to bother with items.
Forces are under attack.
He must have had an absolutely disgusting amount of money for that, by the way. Still, it's just like another minion. A very fat minion. Can Q defeat Ricky? Oh, Ricky almost died to the minions. The pigs are just kind of chilling. It feels like it's been a while since we've seen the pigs. So finally, I can put some pressure on this barracks and finally get some actual pressure on their base. Meanwhile, HKS kind of gets cornered by the Infernal and just is fucked as I rotate stuns on him. Q's still on bottom, so Ricky is just kind of like an NPC too, just a slithery thing. So we got some upgraded minions that Bill bought, helping to slowly whittle this down. The more will come now that that building is destroyed. Ricky is found as a true opponent, the one true opponent, the pig. Ricky almost dies to the bird. Very close. I feel like if it wasn't for upgraded minions, Ricky would have died to the bird. Meanwhile, Bill is almost dead to minions as well. Fucking birds. So Q has some damage, but he really didn't build like a lot of damage. I mean, he has level 10 True Shot now, but to gut through all the upgraded minions is going to take a long time. Zilla kind of like appearance. And Ricky starts buying Acid Bomb. Like, Ricky seems completely clueless when he doesn't do the one AoE build. So I kind of like say HKS on fire, but he's actually tanky enough to survive that now. So it's kind of reaching the point where if we don't win now, we're probably going to lose. Because they're going to get to be too dangerous and too tanky. I'll have to like start dropping like Brilliance Aura for damage, and then, you know, they can get a strong push, and then they'll sustain, because they're always, HKS is always healing on top of it, so he's already back to full. So his healing wave on top of being near the fountain. But this wave is too much for them to deal with though, because when I get the opportunity, when I'm close enough and feel safe, I just shoot the wards, and I'm just like spamming heal on the minions. So it's kind of like slow push, let the minions coach it down. Bill's over here. Surely enough, he can defeat some towers. Meanwhile, Q comes over here and gets cornered and just rotates stuns and kill him. It does use a lot of mana to do that, so. And there's Zilla again. Zilla appears. You know, Zilla's stuns would be so dangerous if he was coordinated with anyone else. But I feel like coordination amidst this sea of haze is gonna be too much to add. HKS appears, but I didn't have Infernal. I think it's arguable I would have killed him even if I did, because he has almost 3,000 health. Like, it's reaching the point where I can't actually kill him. Oh shit, it's Cripple. The Cripple is pretty strong. Again, a little bit of coordination. It's hard to do it now, but if it happens, you can get completely fucked by it. And you can see it takes so much to kill him now. That's with all the upgraded minions shooting him. And the full combo, and we finally killed him. And he almost got away. Oh shit. It's Zilla. I just stand on my own flame strike. See, if he had waited like 10 seconds for Q to be there, I would have been dead. Had to wait to blow his load, but just a premature boy. Bill's playing his own game. It's okay. It's a game he's winning. Ricky Honajase may really seriously want to solve his debacle about blast snaps, but he can't kill the creeps. Do you think he can get the blast staff? No, the game ended before he was gonna die. He would have to run. He was just about to die. Oh my goodness, that was a stupid game. that was dumber than I remembered. Ricky got 1 kill somehow. Hired 5 mercenaries. And I had 20 or 15, 17, 21. I had more kills than their entire team, including the Horde this time. Wow. So, yeah. How about the minions? Yeah, that's pretty high. Honestly, Q's a lot higher than I figured he would be. And Ricky has a lot for not having the extra 2 blast staffs or 3 blast staffs, right? But Ricky was in lane pretty much the entire game. Like there was almost no real PvP from Ricky in this. Like, he would chase some people and immediately run away, but he was just always in lane. This is one of those games where I just countered their threats, and then... But it was almost like a 1v2, really. Because Bill was there sometimes, but he was like... Sometimes he'd be really useful with Shadow Strike. Other times he would overextend and die. And then other times it was like he had to get close to be relevant, and it was really hard for him to do that. So what was more useful is that when he would kill the wards, then I could just stun whoever and we kill them. But it was quite a difficult game for him for sure. But he never got the items he needed to really excel, because he could have become really strong at that point in the game if he had gotten like 2 more items, like 2 axes, right? Then he would be able to tank and sustain with Locust Swarm and actually do some damage. But he never did that. So, and Zilla never got anything other than those starter items. But yeah, it was still reaching a dangerous point where if HKS and Q had both gotten 1 more item, I think we would have just like straight up lost in a slow push, because I wouldn't have been able to blow them up anymore. It was already hard to kill HKS. I needed the help of the minions to kill him at the end there.